I see who you are with the laser, you little dickhead. Oh, aren't you so cool? Yeah, I saved all my allowance from Mommy to go buy a laser so I could shine it at Dave. I bet you're probably still a virgin, aren't you, Pecoroid?
Hello and welcome to Shite Talk, the weekly podcast where we kick off your week just talking shite about things. I'm one of your hosts, Wayne, and this is your other host,
Laura.
So I just want to start off this week's show by saying, fuck Metallica.
Why?
And the horse they rode into town on.
Oh no, the four horsemen that they rode in with.
And, the longer they're around, the more I hate them.
Leave them alone.
They're playing at the what's it, that fucking dome in Las Vegas,
Sphere or whatever,
or the Sphere or whatever it's called, and apparently they're up to their old shenanigans. Like prices are through the roof, and Ticketmaster as well. But Metallica would say, "Oh, we've nothing to do with it. We can't control the price. It's our managers. It's this and that." And Metallica are their own managers. They can set their own prices. I think from where they've come from, they don't need the fucking money. I know kind of putting on the shows that they put on is going to be expensive, but it's fucking not. I think everyone is at the point now with live music where it's just people are going to go, you know what, fuck it, I can't afford this. Is too much of a luxury. It started happening with WWE, and also fuck the WWE. Fucking Trump supporters and fucking part of their fucking thing. Same as Netflix, but I sound like a conspiracy theorist, actually.
You do a bit,
thing, yeah.
but
what was I saying?
You're just
a conspiracy theorist with Alzheimer's.
Yes, you're giving out about everyone because everything costs too much.
But yeah, WWE, because we were big into WWE a while ago and we just gave it up. But I'm still following some of the subreddits, and every now and again things come up on the main feed. And what I'm seeing a lot coming up is like empty seats, whereas when we were looking at, they were sold out. They were fucking charging, they started charging like ridiculous prices, like you're talking $5,000 for seats in the front row.
Yeah, whereas everyone is complaining
at a roar. This is not like a WrestleMania or anything. This
the Americans are always like, you used to always be able to get like seats for their whole family for like, $30 kind of a thing. Historically going back, it was a good family night out. And people are kind of like, I can't bring my kids to this. This is ridiculous.
Like, as evil as Vince McMahon is, he's apparently, one of his main things was about keeping the price down, because keeping it for families, because he recognised that this is like,
you need to build your future
there's
audience.
A lot more money that comes into WWE than just ticket sales and things. So like, I mean, if you don't have a whole generation of kids going to shows and falling in love with the characters that are at it, that generation of kids are not going to be buying toys.
Nothing.
Yeah, and they're not going to support your business at all. And I think that's kind of what's going to start happening with by all accounts, it seems to be starting to happen.
I even saw
I think it's starting to happen with a lot of metal bands as well. Like you were saying about Ghost, they had to cancel their tours from lack of ticket sales and things.
It was turning out to be too costly. I think they had to cancel off, part of their Asian leg of the tour because they just couldn't sustain. They have a very big, I suppose, set going around, stage presence,
which
and all
is
the rest.
Ridiculous for a Ghost. They're not that type of band. They never were. He wants to be, but he's not. They're not like.
That's the thing. I mean, they had enough of a presence just with the masks and the outfits and stuff like that. That's all they really needed. They had that kind of presence going on there, but they're just not able to kind of, I suppose, justify the cost of continuing to roll the show around the world, kind of a thing. And the ticket sales are just not there.
Yeah.
So a lot of bands, we saw it with Anthrax, another big band, which they had to pull a lot of their stuff.
At least
there,
with bands like that, they've always been comfortable and known their position in things. I think the problem with Ghost has always been that he saw them as being a headlining band, which they are at a small festival. But
they did blow up though.
They did blow up, but they're not a Metallica.
Arenas.
They're not a Metallica. They're not a fucking Megadeth. And Megadeth doesn't command that kind of money for gigs. Megadeth don't put on that big, it's just like, right, let the music do the talk, and like Iron Maiden can do it. That's what he saw himself. I think because after they went on tour with Iron Maiden, that's when all the kind of the expenses started ramping
I think
up.
he saw it as a rock opera kind of a situation, kind of thing. That's, in fairness, he did the rock, sort of the rock film and all that kind of stuff.
You need to be selling out like Rio de Janeiro, like fucking Iron Maiden, like to be making your money on that kind of thing. As well, he just doesn't have the songs anymore. They're catchy, but they're not good. And I think it is the problem that I've always had with Ghost was when they took that detour after Meliora, that it was going to turn into where if you're appealing to the teenage market, once they grow out of you, you're trying to go,
you're going back to your old fans. Yeah,
and they don't want to listen to you. They might come back to you when they're in their 30s, when they don't give a fuck what people think. But you're basically after alienating all your, and I think that's going to happen with Ghost. But back to Metallica. Fuck Metallica. When we went to see him in, was it Twickenham? We saw him in. And fucking
this is going back to 2019.
It still bothered me that Hetfield had the gall to turn around and go, "Thanks for coming. Metallica ain't cheap, baby. We know that." And it's like, fucking make it cheap, thing. You fucking
you set the prices.
Stupid fucking Papa Hep cunt. that stuff really annoys me. So where he just decided to start calling himself Papa Hep. He's a piece of fucking shit alcoholic. I'm not saying against people that are alcoholics or anything like that. I'm an alcoholic myself. But it's just, it's this kind of like where all of a sudden he decided, oh no, Metallica are like a family orientated band. And it's like, you're fucking not. You used to be called Alcoholica. You're in and out of fucking rehab twice a year at least. You're after cheating. You know what I mean? Where it's just act like a rock star. Don't be pretending.
Lean into that side of things. You don't need to be wholesome.
Yeah. I think like Motley Crue don't fucking do. Like, imagine like Vince Neil started going, if he started doing ads for like fucking safe driving and things and started, he'd be like,
Yeah, I don't think they ever did ads for safe. They still sell whiskey and cigars and stuff like that. They're not exactly,
but it's like the Gibson thing where it's like for creators and for, for people with money. They're not selling fucking like $20 bottles of whiskey, are they? Their fucking bottles of whiskey cost hundreds of dollars.
I don't know. I've never decided to have a look at them even.
Even fucking when you got how much was the Black Album box set?
Oh, I don't know. You bought it for me for my birthday?
€300.
Was it?
€300, maybe €350.
Was it that much?
Yeah, it'd feed a family in a third world country for a year.
Well, why did you buy it then? Why didn't you feed a family in a third world country?
Because I was kind of feeling kind of like that. Maybe I wanted a family in a third world country to die from neglect at that stage.
I see.
And they probably did, and that's on your head.
Well, you're the one who spent the money, buddy.
Well, it was your money. So I don't know.
I bought my own birthday present.
But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know I'm with you on the crazy, ridiculous ticket prices, and that's one of the main reasons we're not going to see them when they swing through Ireland this year. It's like we just can't afford it.
You're talking about €1,000+ just to see him, and they're a bunch of fucking old men. Well, seriously, like, not that I'm like, I want to go and see young men. But at the same point, it's like, fucking come on, like, it's...
See, that's the thing. If it was cheaper, you don't particularly want to go and see him. So, okay, fair enough. If there are cheaper tickets, I buy tickets for myself and I just drive up and down and I go and see him on the day off.
If they were 60 quid...
Yeah.
You kind of go,
that's it. Like, but because they're so expensive, it's like it turns into a whole big ordeal. It's like they are pricey. Like, so do you know what I mean? It turns into, well, if I go and see them, that's like a holiday for the two of us. That's kind of priced out of the question then as well. I'd rather go on a holiday for the two of us rather than me go and see Metallica for like a night.
We could fly to Japan for going.
No, we couldn't.
We probably could.
No, it's not that much of a fucking expense. It probably would be by the time you tack on the price of a hotel in Dublin, all right, That's because they're gouging as well and up drinks,
there, and then the Metallica,
dynamically priced
Metallica
hotels.
burger, that'd be like fucking $30, and
you're
James Hetfield flipping the burger there. Oh, sorry, it's so dear. Thanks for eating. We know it's not cheap.
Yeah,
as he's
Metallica
spitting in your
cheap,
burger.
baby.
Oh yeah. But they don't need to. Like, as bad as Kid Rock is, and as much of a piece of shit that he is, at least he decided, no, I want to do tours where you get a hot dog or a burger and a beer for $1. So we can get people.
$1?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous like that. Whereas like the ticket prices were, I don't know.
No, I will give them that. The ticket prices were kept at a reasonable, normal gig level price.
Yeah. Now, if
that's the
fucking
thing.
Kid Rock can
gigs they have not kept pace with inflation. Inflation has run riot anyway, and it has gone absolutely crazy. But tickets are just gone fucking insane.
With the power that Metallica wield with stuff, that they couldn't turn around to Ticketmaster and say, fucking pack this dynamic pricing shit in on our fucking tickets. We want to keep them down at a certain level. If you don't do that, we're going to set up our own fucking platform for our tickets, or guaranteed then Ticketmaster turn around and say, good luck getting the gig anywhere. But who's going to turn down, because Metallica are money making fucking racket at this stage.
They'll sell out anywhere. If they go to a community hall, they'll sell it out.
But fuck them anyway, old wrinkly fucking bastards.
No.
Yeah, fuck them. It's like the Rolling Stones. They are at the level of the Rolling Stones now.
Yeah.
But I kind of, at least the Rolling Stones were interesting.
No, they're not.
They wrote terrible music, but they were interesting people. No. There is nothing interesting. Would you sit down and listen to Rob Trujillo talking for 2 hours?
Do you know what? I actually
about
would.
his fucking van runners.
He fucking
I
pops
haven't
up
changed
everywhere.
In a year.
He only popped up the other day in a bloody tribute to Ozzy Osbourne there with Robbie Williams of all people. He just pops up in the most unusual of places, though.
Well, he toured Ozzy for like
that's what I mean,
like,
but he just has a really weird interest in life. Out of all of them, I'd probably sit down and listen to Rob Trujillo.
Or fucking anytime we've tried listening to Kirk Hammett,
it's been entertaining.
I like Kirk Hammett as
that.
a guitarist.
Yeah,
but it's kind of, it's like watching someone with a mental illness dribbling over their words and trying to remember. Now, I know we fucking get lost in things. And Hetfield, you're just looking at spite. The face of spite. And Lars Ulrich is just a prick.
Tell me more about how much you love Metallica.
Yeah, but anyway, look, movies.
Yeah, you see, you're just doing that out of spite because I love Metallica. That's all it is. You're just trying to get one over on me.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what I hate? And the first thing that came to my mind was fucking Metallica.
You know who I hate? Yeah, Metallica. The band that my wife loves.
And also another thing, this is like a you know what grinds my gears thing. You even said it today. It's been bothering me for the last couple of weeks. YouTube fucking thumbnails.
Yes.
Now, I know I do it where you have to do a separate thumbnail with, say, a bit of writing on it going, if you ever see one of our fucking faces on a YouTube thumbnail kind of doing that Home Alone fucking
pose,
it's never, it fucking annoys it. And like, I mean, I follow a lot of, say, hobby channels as in Warhammer, role-playing games and stuff like that, and video, every fucking single one of them, and it's just like, stop it.
Yeah,
you're fucking.
It's all
you're
either these shock faces, or they're all like, oh no faces pointing towards the thing they're talking.
Your thumbnail might be one of the reasons why people might click on your video. It's not the reason people will watch your fucking video.
Yeah.
If it's shit, that as I know, looking at our things, people turn off with us for a second.
Once they hear you go, do you know who I hate?
Yeah.
Metallica.
I thought he was going to say like. A race or something. Varg Vickers turns off, but it's just I fucking, it's not, it's just, you are debasing yourself. Some people that are making really, really good videos that are kind of, there's some interesting things in them, and they imagine if it was like a history of art fucking video and they had the scream with googly eyes going like, oh, you'll never believe what this fucking Swedish painter did in his spare time.
That would be hilarious.
And like, I mean, I know people come up with excuses the whole time why people don't look at their stuff. I saw it with there's a whole thing, if you're looking at, everyone calls it like either like BookTube now, or Dungeon Tube is like Dungeons and Dragons Tube, right? And they're all like fucking creating their drama on it, going, oh, the people are, it's the algorithm, and it's like the algorithm probably plays a part in it.
Probably a huge part, in fairness.
But look, if people are going to subscribe to your channel and they like your videos, they're going to be subscribed. They will come up in the subscription thing. So it's not this thing where it's like, oh, you know, they treat the audience like they're fucking morons and at the same time go begging in money, you know?
It is to a certain extent, but I mean, on the other hand, you've said it yourself a few times. You've come across some like fantastic YouTubers that have like 10 subscribers or something like that, and you're like, why are they not bigger?
Oh, that's the push, but I'm on a bit, say these are like bigger people. And that's because YouTube actually now they will push smaller channels over bigger channels into random kind of things. So a lot of these bigger ones started giving out saying like, oh, I should be coming up in people's random feeds. And it's like, but you have a big audience. Or if your audience is deciding not to follow you, you have to look at your videos and you have to decide what you're doing. If you're making the same videos over and over again, there's a lot of people that I follow that I just end up going, I'm fucking sick of you. You're doing the same video every week. I like painting tutorials, but I don't want to see a fucking painting tutorial from someone every week. I think
doing
everything
exactly
that's
the same
being
style,
done is fucking done with painting tutorials. Now, you could say the same thing about all people covering same films every fucking time or whatever, but that's a niche thing. That's where you're not like, you don't say with us, say if we're talking about film,
you're painting yourself into a corner.
Yeah, but no, we're not saying the exact same thing about different
the
films.
same subject, I think.
Whereas
I
with
know,
those
I kind of get you. When the painting thing, they're like, oh, I like this style, and I'm going to paint this thing pink, and that's going to be my thing, and I'm going to paint it pink forever in different ways.
And then it's like their 500 video doing that.
Yeah, just
like,
painting.
I don't understand why people are drawing. It must be the thumbnail. I look like a fucking moron begging for views on the thumbnail, you know. So it's just I don't like that either. But
what else don't you like?
Lots of things.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll cover it as we go on.
Grand.
But just getting into movies a little bit. There's, I think I'd like to start off when we're talking about movies with like trailers, especially this time of the year. There's a lot of trailers for like the summer coming up, you know, and but it's some of the more interesting ones. There is like one called Mermaid, which looks fucking mental. It kind of is. It looks like it's set in Florida. It seems to be some kind of family guy comes across these people that are like exploiting real life mermaids. What?
Peter Griffin?
I didn't say Peter Griffin.
You said Family Guy.
Oh, alright. Shut up.
No, sorry, I was genuinely wondering.
You know,
Go on.
but it's like he goes off to try and rescue like these mermaids, but they look like, you know, the horrible kind of mermaids that would have been in freak shows in the 30s and the 20s, that kind of thing. So it looks really, really weird. I
actually saw a really horrendous, stupid drawing the other day online, and it did make me giggle a small bit, even though it was totally inaccurate. It was kind of like, why does nobody ever draw mermaids the other way around? And it was just a picture, like a really badly drawn fish head with like a really childish like dick. I was like, well, it would be a merman then as well.
Well, obviously people do if they're doing it. But it was another trailer. I called you and I was like, Laura, look at this. The trailer for HBO's Lanterns, which is based on the Green Lanterns. It's apparently meant to be kind of True Detective-y. Now, looking at it, to me, it reminded me a bit of Reacher. More so than True Detective. So I don't know what the story is. It could be some fucking weird Lovecraftian thing in it, but there's lots of swearing, lots of violence.
You enjoy a bit of the old swearing and the violence, don't you?
But as well for Hal Jordan to be, like, he's like an old grizzled vet. It's just with Jon Stewart. And, like, I mean, I love Jon Stewart from the Justice League cartoon show. I think they did a brilliant version. He was really funny and just I don't know, I like the Green Lantern things. Even the thing where there was one of the quotes in it where it's like do you talk to the other Green Lanterns? And Hal Jordan is like, they're fucking aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel. Of course I don't talk to him. You know? So I like that there seem to be like grounding it on Earth, that they're not going to do this whole kind of big Guardians of the Galaxy thing, which is what a lot of people are saying. Look, if you do the Green Lanterns, you have to do this whole mad thing with like Kilowog and all the, you know, where it's like, no, actually this is like a good take on it. I would imagine it's probably maybe influenced by, you know, there was like the 70s version of the Green Lantern where he went on the tour with the Green Arrow across America, where they're trying to cover things about society.
Oh, I did not actually. No.
Yeah, it was like Speedy, like the Green Arrow was like psychic, ended up becoming a heroin addict.
Oh, I do remember. Yeah.
There was one of the famous lines, which a lot of people now are like, that's racist. Like at the time, they were trying to they were trying. Like, it's like where it's like this black man at a civil rights march is kind of going, you fuckers, you go off and you help people with blue skin, you help people with green skin, you help people with red skin and all this and all these different type of aliens, but yet you don't do anything to help out fucking people with black skin on this planet. And the lads are kind of like, oh yeah, we don't. And then they kill everyone at the civil rights march.
What?
No, they don't. But you know, it was trying to be.
Yes.
That's when people are saying, "Oh, keep your politics out of comics. Comics were never political." It's like comics were always political.
They were always, yeah.
Like, I'm sure even if you go back and like some of the Popeye strips, there's probably stuff where Bluto would drop in, kind of like, hey Popeye, I don't like those swastika tattoos on your arms. And it's like, the Jews made my arms malformed. But yeah, that they look really, really cool, and something you'd be very excited for.
Oh,
Scary Movie 6.
Oh yeah.
Coming out in the summer.
And the trailer looks awful.
It looks fucking dreadful. I'm surprised actually that this is the 6th. I didn't know
I'm
there was a
surprised
5.
it's getting made as well, because it's the type of thing that it's like, how is this getting made without any big protests? Because like every single joke as such that in it is like,
It's because no one fucking cares, and people know that it's like, it's that thing where they're after running out. Well, they didn't have ideas to begin with, but it's where they don't have anything good to say, so they're like, well, maybe if we can offend people might go to the cinema just to be offended and give out about the movie, and that'll give us publicity. But I think people are just going to be, this is just shit.
Yeah,
like,
it has kind of, now I know Scary Movie was never particularly highbrow or anything like that, but it has definitely reached the level of like a 12-year-old trying to like, I'm going to try
especially
and say
when
something
like,
offensive and get like
these
mom all
woke
riled up.
people, we're like snowflakes. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Be funny.
Yeah, that's it.
Be funny.
I know.
That's all you have
And especially
to do.
even
like,
this whole thing of like being all these woke and fucking snowflakes. That was a fucking that was a term people are trying to throw around like fucking 15 years ago to try and offend people.
Like, I mean, the original Scary Movie, I thought the first one was okay. The second one, like the third one, they're terrible. I don't think anyone's going to be like fucking jumping up saying these are like the best comedies you're ever going to see. But it's like the first one was just a rip-off of Hot Shots and the fucking the guys that did Airplane and all that. Was it Jerry Zucker
Abrams
and stuff, and it was just like a bad rip-off of rip-offs. And it was like, this first one was fun because it was like, they're referencing horror movies, no one's really done it like at this level or this popularity, so it was fun as a horror fan to see the different things,
all the references and all the different gags.
They carried on with that thing where they did like when Scary Movie tanked, they came back with ones about like paranormal activity, kind of like but I've never seen those ones. And then I think there was one last year called The Blackening, or a few years ago.
I don't know, I kind of lost track of it all.
Yeah. So it's not as if they just kind of rebranded, I think, trying to, but like rip off bad, or badly rip off horror movies, and kind of like, they're not even satire. It does look terrible, because I was like, it could be quite good coming back. Maybe they might do something interesting after all these years. The only thing that I'd be happy to see is like Anna Faris and the cast. Yeah,
some of them are back in, and it'd be interesting to see what they come up with and what they do, because that's the thing, they're always the best thing about it.
They were, like, I mean, Anna Faris, I think, was very underutilized over the years. Like, she got like big, and obviously she's famous, but she could have, I don't know, it's just she ended up being miscast and things. I don't know.
That's the thing, she was a great comic actress.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Like, hugely fucking... I think the comic timing with her was just brilliant, because she always had this way of just like being super innocent, like, and oh, really? What's going on? Kind of thing, while being absolutely brutally fucking...
Her timing was really, really good. I think that's probably the problem, is because she made it look effortless, that she probably,
didn't get the respect she was due, like,
But,
nobody respects me.
Yeah, but like, they look quite interesting. Coming up, and this week we were kind of, I think we fell back into the evil trap, as in like the TV show Evil.
Yes.
Looked first 10 episodes and then kind of got distracted by other things. I went back to, and like, it's fucking amazing. Like, we're near the end of season 2 now already, after a week. it's great. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. Especially after coming from Pennywise. It showed like Welcome to Derry, which was fucking incredibly dark, and then you go back to this and it's like, this is even darker.
Oh yeah, super dark, but it's hilarious and light and kind of comedic, and it's like a mixture of all these like weird sort of like hits from over the years. It reminds you a little bit of a procedure like House. It's a little bit of sort of like The Wire. It's a little bit of an investigative kind of a show, like the X-Files, like The Shield. It's got all these like it's all these sort of, it's all these tropes of all those kind of shows going back over the years, but just like turned on its head kind of a thing. It's bizarre.
But it's very, very funny, and it's like, what's the word for it? It's like self-aware. It's not like it's unintentionally funny. The character development is fucking amazing. And it's one of these shows, it's like a cozy detective. It's nearly like fucking Psych.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't describe, you have to look at it. I think because it's got like 9, I think, on IMDb, or kind of like on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like ridiculously high scores. But it seems to be one of these shows that no one really talks about. They don't put it up there with the likes of The Sopranos and The Wire and stuff, because they are, say, worthy TV shows. Whereas this has got like fucking just as high. And it's just as critically acclaimed by people, but I think it's because it's a CBS show and it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's dealing with really serious topics. It's an amazing show. Like, I can't say, I'm going to be sad when it's finished.
Yeah.
Unless they tank it in the last season.
Like a fucking Game of Thrones, I know,
Yeah.
But it's so nice to see certain people turning back up. Like, I mean, you have people from really familiar faces, like from Lost, turning up in it. You've got Kurt Fuller.
There's
Kurt Fuller from Scary Movie, of course, and well, mainly from Supernatural, turning up in it. And Kurt Fuller is just Kurt Fuller the whole way through. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's just all these, like, it's got a swathe of like these really good characters turning up the whole way through, like good character actors, you know?
Yeah, there's like, you can't pick out anyone bad in it. Like, I mean, your man that plays Wayland in it, I can't think of his name, but he was like in Lost. He's fucking amazing. And then when we found out he's in his 70s,
yeah, really doesn't. I don't know what fucking magic fucking picture he has hidden away in his attic. Like, my God, he does not look like he's even in his fucking 60s.
But like, this is just spoiler for the fast forward 30 seconds. They did one thing with him. He's basically like, he might be a demon, he might not. You don't really know still at this point with it. But they do this whole thing, a couple of episodes around incels. And it's just kind of in the background, and it's handled kind of lightly, and he's like brainwashing this guy, getting him into it. He gets him fully armed, he trains him how to use weapons and all this, and it's like, oh God, he's going to go into like a place and kill a bunch of innocent people. But the guy is such a fucking moron, he drops the gun and shoots himself in the head and dies. And that's the end. It's something that you think this is going to be like
big
the series finale and all
Yeah.
that, and it just like goes like that, and he's just like, oh no. Yeah. But I think it was the cleverest way of showing these guys are fucking morons.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, look, this fucking dough, you know?
Yeah, how easily they're manipulated and how stupid they are at the end of it, yeah.
So it's just very, very good. As well, we've been looking at TV show wise. We won't get into too much because I'm sure we'll end up talking about the movie when we see it. Nirvana, the band, the show.
Total surprise.
Yeah.
It hadn't even been on our radar at all.
I was aware of it, but I don't know. There was something about. I thought it was like a web series for some reason. I didn't realise that it was like an actual TV series, but it was on Vice TV years ago, so I think that's why. For people who don't know, it's kind of like Flight of the Conchords. It's about these two guys that have a band, but every episode is them trying to get a gig at this place called the Rivoli. And it's just them getting more bizarre attempts. Like, one episode is they end up doing a documentary or fucking making this film that they slip into Sundance, because I think if we get famous at Sundance, maybe we can get a gig at the. And then another where they end up taking people hostage in a bank robbery, you know.
Accidentally, there's always some thing that just spirals totally out of control. Even something as simple, the first episode was like, oh, we'll just do a really big poster, and it just goes fucking disastrously
we
wrong.
won't say anything of it because
I
forgot about that.
And it was just such that was the very first first episode, wasn't it? That was such a fucking introduction.
For the first 10 minutes, it kind of goes, so kind of comedy. And then it's just like, what the fuck? The fuck is going on? And like most episodes are like that. It's very, very, very funny. What I ended up looking at was, I saw a review of the movie and people were saying, this is like Hot Rod. It's the same
I can see the comparisons, the contrast.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Lonely Island meets Flight of the Conchords.
It is, yeah. It's just these two guys. They're just two innocent, sort of like harmless souls that just like believe so much in themselves, and everything just keeps going wrong.
They're really, they're so
and they're so
likeable,
disastrous. As
even
well.
when they're horrible, they're likeable.
It is, yeah. And there's always these little weird life lessons where like they are the best of friends, and like, you know, one of them is sort of like, one of them decides maybe to pull away and the other one is like heartbroken, and they decide, no, we'll stay being best friends because being best friends means more than anything, kind of a thing.
They're Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
It's a classic kind of thing. But yeah, we're nearly finished that. But main topic, or no, actually, before we get into the main topic, which is the Bone Temple that we finally saw, is we also looked at Until Dawn, because I'm trying to clear down the backlog of movies, and Until Dawn was something that I kind of knew wasn't going to be great, but I thought it might be okay, because the premise to it is interesting. People don't know, horror movie based on a PlayStation game, where you could kind of like make your own, well, every game I suppose you make your own choice in, but it was one of these things where it was like, I don't know, I've never played it. It was a slasher game, but then they started introducing, like with the DLC, like the fucking Ghostface from Scream, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead, all these things. So the film apparently is very different from the game. In the film, it's a group of teenagers go looking for one of their missing sisters in the fucking... somewhere fucking in the middle of nowhere, and they get caught in a time loop. So it's a mixture of Groundhog Day. So it's the thing is, they're getting killed every day, but they might only have like 13 chances to survive every time some different kind of monster kills them. So it starts off really strong, I thought, and it gets... There's
some inventive horrific deaths. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. Actually, it's like a horror Groundhog Day. The kind of the egg timer gets reset and the sun starts ticking down, I suppose, and they wake up every morning and it's like they're trying to fucking figure out, like, oh my god, how do we try and get out of this without getting killed? Because they seem to have they eventually start developing a memory of getting killed the previous day.
They remember everything from it, so it's not like well, in Groundhog Day remembers as well.
Well, it's only the one guy remembers. It's only Bill Murray remembers.
They figure out that they've only like a certain amount of chance to do it, and then gets into... It's when it gets into the lore behind it, that's where it kind of loses it, I think. Where I just got to the point about 40 minutes in where it's like, I have no interest in this anymore. And then they start rushing the deaths, and they start rushing the things because they're like, oh shit, we have to fit all these different kind of monsters in. And it's like, it would have been, like, if you just didn't spend as much time with the first one, which was the most boring one, with the slasher, and got it. Like, there was a thing as well where they explode. Yeah. The people explode if they get near water, and then you don't know. I don't know. Even like I had to look up at the end of it, going, "What was the fucking plot?" And like with a dumb film like this, you shouldn't be as confused with the ending. Kind of going, "Was this real?"
Was it a group hallucination? Was it an experiment? Was it a fucking psychiatric fucking hospital or what?
Now the cast, they're fine in it. It's the same thing. There's one of the ones in it is she was in the Hellraiser remake. The other Peter Stormare, he's probably the biggest name in it, and he's only in it very briefly. Yeah, but I wouldn't even recommend people just look at it out of curiosity. It was like a waste of an hour and a half. I thought it's not terribly made. The guy who directed it, he directed a film I don't know I saw years ago called Lights Out, which I don't know if you remember. It was kind of like nearly an 80s straight to video horror movie where it was like you couldn't go into the dark because there was this demon in the dark, so you had to try and keep the lights on, and if you stepped into the dark, this thing would come out of the actual darkness and kill you. It was quite good. It was promising, you know, where you kind of go, oh, this guy could be someone to watch out for in the future. Well, he just seems to have stayed in that lane, making these things. Like, Until Dawn could have been a big film, and even the effects in it were kind of shit as well. The deaths
Yeah.
crap.
It could have been a sort of a cabin in the woods if it was handled a bit better. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
It was. That's what it feels. It just
Yeah.
feels like we have cabin in the woods at home. kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But onto the main,
Yeah.
the main course, Bone Temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I actually loved.
Yeah, the sequel to 28 Years Later. Like the actual direct sequel, it takes up, like, you're talking
Immediately.
minutes
from.
after the end of it. So yeah, you really liked it. We're not going to get into it. We're going to try to. Well, actually, yeah. Look, there's going to be spoilers in this. They're not going to be like.
It's going to be. It is going to be hard to avoid spoilers if you want to talk about certain aspects of it.
So I suppose the thing about directed by Nia DaCosta, who I would have known from, and you'd know from the Candyman remake / reimagining / sequel thing. She's I really like her. People were shitting all over for a Candyman remake, and people were shitting all over for this. No idea why. Think she's an amazing director. I loved what they did with Candyman. I thought it was really in the kind of the wheelhouse of the Candyman franchise, especially the first one, which was about race and about, you know, kind of just the horribleness of kind of like, you know, racism and people kind of like being subjugated. And this kind of, and the remake, I think, followed it up with in a very, very smart way with saying, yeah, look, it still happens in different ways. People are, you know, subjugated and stuff. Done really, really well. This time she's following up sequel to Danny Boyle's one, where it picks up with the Spike, the kid from the first one. He's after being taken in by the Jimmies, which is the gang of fucking like roaming maniacs that are based on like Jimmy Savile, these kids that are under the leadership of like Sir Lord Jimmy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you got like what's his fucking name? It's the doctor at the Bone Temple, where he's trying to befriend and trying to cure the Alpha Samson from the first one. So it follows their stories, kind of linking
parallel
up.
stories that end up intersecting.
Yeah. So it's very much, especially when you look at it and you see the ending too, because it goes into what's going on. I'm not going to talk about the ending because that is a big spoiler if you haven't seen it, but it gets into that whole thing of like, this is the middle part of the story. It kind of finishes off the Doctor's story. It kind of really only starts the Jimmy stories, and you don't know, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's in the middle, but it's still on its own. You know, you don't really need to see the first one, I think, to understand
I think you probably do a bit.
Oh, it'd help, but like, you know, if you were to look at it, you kind of go, oh, you know, you could pick up.
I suppose you could. I think it'd be you would be kind of wondering, who the fuck is this doctor and why does he have a fucking pile of skulls all over the place, and why, you know, you would be a bit like, why is he in red? What the fuck?
Fair enough, yeah.
You know, I do think you probably do need to have seen the first one to actually come in on this, and why does he know the kid, and why are the Jimmies the way, you know, why is this kid with the Jimmies?
That's probably the downfall of it.
Yeah,
when you think about kind of like why people probably,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people kind of shit on it, a lot of people, and I couldn't understand why people were hating on it. Well, people were hating on the first one as well.
Yeah.
Because they made the mistake of saying, right, instead of putting it at the end of the credits, let's put it we'll finish the film and then have what should be an end credit scene, where was this thing after Spike's mother died, that the Jimmies came along when he was wandering on his own, and they saved him from being attacked by like the infected.
Yeah.
And people were like, what the fuck is that got to do with that? That's got no, and it's like, this, if it happened after the credits, people would have been like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's the start of the next film, essentially.
And people didn't get it. They were like, oh, these Power Rangers. And it was like,
they're not Power Rangers.
Like,
what the fuck?
You know, it was just, I don't know. People take things too fucking literally now. It's fucking a severe case of fucking stupidity fucking spreading around the world at the moment. Like, fucking 90% of the population are always fucking thick as shit anyway, but now it seems to be 99%. Apart from our listeners.
Yes.
You're part of the 1%.
We hope.
But yeah, the Bone Temple.
Yeah.
Why did you like it? Because you really liked it. You were talking about it for days after it.
Yes, no, I thought it was one of the more, I suppose, I don't know, it was just, I really liked it for a horror film. It brought me back to why horror films are fucking good. It was actual pure, like, I was cringing at some of the torture scenes. I won't get into what happened, but there was a couple of scenes where it was like, I mean, they even had some of the members of the Jimmy gang who were supposed to be,
and these are kids, well, they're teenagers, and kids,
they're in this band, so they're basically taken in by this a gang, and they're after being kind of initiated or whatever, so they're kind of, you have to go along with it or you're going to end up fucking on the wrong side of the Jimmys yourself or whatever. And there's the leader is like, right, okay, we're going to do this to fucking anyone that we come across. And as I said, without getting into it, there's a torture scene that goes on for quite some fucking time.
Well, like, if anyone's listened to it, they've seen it, so
it goes on for quite some time, and it is quite horrific to the point where some of the younger members of the Jimmys are like vomiting in fucking abject horror, and
they're skinning people alive.
It is, you feel it's pure visceral horror, which you don't get that in a lot of horror films nowadays. It's done for pure shock value, but this is done for, like, it's to show, I suppose, like, here's an innocent bunch of people that are just trying to get on in a horrible world, and they're just coming in, destroying their peace and their quiet, fucking really doing nasty, horrible things for the sake.
Jimmy thinks that he's the son of Satan. He's the kid at the start of 28 years later. They show him with his family being killed in the church, and he ends up developing this kind of belief that he's the son of Satan, and that him and his followers have to go and spread around old Nick's work and be evil. So he does that. So it's just, and he kind of starts off, you kind of look at him and you kind of go, this guy's a fucking idiot. And like the more it goes on, the worse and worse he gets, where you kind of go, this guy is fucking pure evil. You know, like, he's using these kids to do horrible things, but yet he does, like, fucking really horrible things himself. He's a really good villain. Because he's kind of like Skeletor in the kind of thing where you kind of go, he's an idiot, but he's like an idiot insofar as that he's like, he survived as a kid. He's like still probably stuck in a kid's mentality, but he's fucking insane at the same point. But for him to survive this long on his own, and to adapt,
there's a pure sadistic streak like going through him, that, you know, he's a terrifying person to have to cross the path of. You know, you really don't want to meet someone like him, you know, at all.
And then it's like the contrast where they go to the doctor, where he's with Samson, and Samson is like the alpha, and in the first one he was kind of the main threat, I suppose. Like, the infected were the main threat in the first one. This one, the infected are hardly in it at all. They have Samson in it, and he's like just getting stoned with the doctor on morphine, and you kind of start discovering bits and pieces about his life, and it's like they don't seem like the threat. It goes into that nearly the Romero kind of thing, where it's like, oh, the monsters were the humans all along. Whereas in this, it's like, that's what this is, kind of that version of it.
It is, as I said, you have the two parallel stories going along. You've got the kid Spike, that's kind of basically all he does is he's fucking horrified and crying and terrified the whole time with the Jimmys, with this all going on. You've got the doctor who's trying to help Samson. He's, you know, he shot Samson with a tranquilizer dart, and then Samson kind of went, oh, this is quite nice. So Samson comes up to him every day to try and get some peace from his fucking burning brain, essentially, like, to try and quiet the virus. So it's this lovely sort of bond is forming on one side, where, like, the doctor and the sort of the alpha are just sitting quietly contemplating life and building this sort of friendship, and then you've got this horrific fucking marauding going on the other side, and eventually the two paths cross, and that's where everything sort of goes a bit nuts as well, you know.
And like, I mean, the standout scene, I think, was the Number of the Beast bit, because when they meet, like, it's Jimmy is one of the cult members are saying, I'm after finding old Nick, he's living in a fucking palace with skulls, and he's painted red because, like, the doctor is covered in iodine. So he goes and he kind of strikes a deal. Like, at first you kind of, the whole thing with Jimmy, you kind of go, alright, you start finding about his past, and it's like, oh, sure, he was a kid and he seems to be stuck in this kid-like thing, and he's like chatting away to the doctor, and you nearly have some empathy for him. And then he turns around and he goes, "You're going to do what I fucking tell you to do, or I'm going to cut you open," and all this. And then all of a sudden it's like,
oh
yeah. So he like goes along with his like plan to pretend to be Satan, and there's that scene where he's like,
he puts on a show to pretend to be Satan and all the rest. And it is like, I mean, it's phenomenal. As I said, if you had that in a music video or something like that, oh my god, it was fucking like, it's fantastic. There's pyrotechnics, there's everything. It's a blast. It's a proper hoot.
Yeah, I think it's very smart what they did with the trailer, because they show a shot of that in the trailer very briefly, but it makes it look like the doctor is infected. So you kind of, I had in my head, oh, he's going to get fucking infected and turn on people. That's what the story, and it's like, it's
totally
so
further couldn't be further from the truth.
It's a real red herring. It's fucking very, very, very smart. But that scene, it was like 5 minutes. It was
brilliant. It was absolutely fine. And again, I'm not going to spoil any further, like, but there's, kind of, you have all these ongoing things where you have, like, again, going back to the previous parallel stories, you have Samson. You're getting flashes of Samson's previous life before he was infected, when it was back in the day when he was a commuter on a fucking train, and all of this kind of stuff, and you start to feel a bit of empathy for him, and sort of he's remembering his life, and he's like, why the fuck am I like this now,
I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that where they're leading to it is about rehabilitation, whereas like with Samson, that kind of like, can the infected be rehabilitated, and say, can someone like Jimmy be rehabilitated? Because like, this is a big spoiler, he might be dead or he might not be dead at the end, but that's not really, but it leaves it open, and then like the very end of it leaves it like, it's meant to be a trilogy, but what I'm fucking really annoyed about, apparently it's so poorly at the box office that the last one mightn't get made. If it doesn't get made, it's fucking crazy.
It's a crying shame, like,
because the story is still wide open. It's like, this is very much a middle.
It is. They're setting it up for the finale, basically.
And it's not even done in so much as like, for what a lot of second movies do, they followed the Empire Strikes Back template, where it's like, leave them all at their worst at the end of the fucking, like, the second one. This doesn't really do it. It's like a continuation of the story. It finishes on it, where you're kind of like, this is. There
are some hopeful notes, like, there has been some terrible setbacks, and there are some very upsetting moments in it where you're like, oh Jesus, no. And again, I'm not going to spoil those. Like, there's one particular one where it's very upsetting, but there are some hopeful notes where you're kind of going, oh Jesus, maybe things, and maybe this is, there's a little bit of hope there, and there's a little bit of hope there. But it is, it's left wide open as to what is going to happen next. And as you said, it's can the infected be rehabilitated? Can the infection be burnt out, or can it be controlled? Can it be reversed? Can it be, sort of cured as such? And like you said as well with Jimmy, can somebody who has this sort of pathology, I
think there's a lot more to this film than there is 28 years later, or 28 years later was... Or nearly, I don't know, it was more about really just picking up on the 28 years later thing. It was like Danny Boyle returning to the world, and just about how society was after dealing with being isolated. Like, there was things where it was like commentary on Brexit and stuff, but I don't really know, if there was that much of a commentary on Brexit to it, other than maybe that there was the idea of like Britain being isolated, kind of like was utilised with it. But like in this one, it does feel like she's trying to say a lot more. Well, it's written by Alex Garland as well, who's fucking fabulous anyway. But
and as well, you'd hope it was going to go ahead, because Cillian Murphy obviously shows up at the end as well.
That's what I was trying to say, not with the spoilers.
Oh,
with
right,
the big thing I was trying not to let. Yeah.
But it's not really a spoiler, because you don't know what capacity. Like, I mean, everyone should know. Like, his name is on the film. Like.
Yeah, well, they always said with the things that he was coming back for it.
That's it. But I'm not telling you why or how he shows up. Like, he just shows up at the very end.
Because some people were saying, remember the trailer, the first one, there was a zombie in it that looked like Cillian Murphy, and they're like, oh my god, that's him. And like, it's just like a really skinny zombie. But yeah, that's why it's so, like, surely if they have Cillian Murphy attached to the third one, that especially with fucking how popular he is now, and he's an Oscar winner.
Oh yeah, and sure, Peaky Blinders again is riding high again. I think there's a sort of buzz about that.
Yeah, the people that are like for horror, and it's not like an A24 thing. It's like, I mean, you've had Danny Boyle with and like, I loved the first one. Like, well, I like all the films, but like 28 Years Later, I thought it was really well shot. It was an art house movie, really parading as a zombie movie, as was like the fucking first one as well. This one, there's a lot to it, but I think people are, the first look, you're just focused on the horror with it. And with, my God, why can't I think of the actor's name that plays the doctor in it, Kelso?
Kingsley?
No, it's not Ben Kingsley.
What? Who am I thinking of?
I don't know what you're thinking.
Fiennes.
Yeah, Ralph
Sorry.
Fiennes.
Fiennes, Jesus Christ.
He's like brilliant, and like I mean, he's another Oscar fucking.
Yeah.
He is brilliant. Like I mean, the whole thing that they give him the pathos of a doc. Like I used to work in the NHS, and he does come across as he reminds me of doctors that I've met.
Yeah.
He's very nice. He's very kind of like down to. He genuinely wants to help.
Well, he's very NHS-y, and he even references that thing. It's like somebody was saying something about it, and he's like, "Oh, it's free. It's the NHS. So of course, I'll provide you with this kind of thing." You know, it's that whole thing. It was like the NHS is there to serve and to make sure health above all else, kind of a thing.
But he is brilliant, and then when they get into like his personality in this, that he's like a Duran Duran fan, and he likes dancing. You know that it kind of, because it's like slightly bizarre.
Yeah.
But it fits his character.
Absolutely.
He's brilliant. Like they're all really, really, really good in it. Oh, that's a dog now. That's a fucking sign that the podcast has come to the day, and the dog is after getting his squeaky toy and he's getting his zoomies. But yeah, I loved it. I fucking just hope so much that they get to finish it off. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It deserves a third part.
Because it's one of these series that I think it's just been fucked around with. Like 28 days later, people are like, oh my God, this is 28 weeks later. It's still a really good movie. But for some reason it just didn't do it, and they were like, oh, kill the franchise. And if you go back looking at it, we've done podcasts about the two films. You go back looking at it again and you go, this is fucking brilliant. This is really, it's horrible because it ends on a fucking miserable note. But they've all been really, really strong. But it's going to be terrible that if it's going to be a thing where it's like, it's going to take fucking decades after this one gets made, that
280 years
let's
later.
return to the franchise. Like, this is like really, it's just ahead of it, a whole franchise ahead of its time with each movie. So
but yeah, please people, go and watch it, go and see it, go and clamour for it to be continued on, because it's a great series. This is a very good film. I very much enjoyed it. I liked it.
But look, that's the end of the show for now. Look, come back. I should have said this at the start of the show. We'll be back on Thursday. This week we're talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme's Cyborg, which, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. Either way, we had a laugh anyway talking about it, and we had a laugh looking at it. Some of our conclusions might shock and amaze you. Well, I'm only saying that to try and get you to listen to it. But
you're going to do a thumbnail with your face going, ooh.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah. Jean-Claude Van Damme did a high kick. Wow. But yeah, look, we'll be back on Thursday, so come back then. We might be back next Monday. I don't know. We'll see what we look at.
Guess.
Yes. So, goodbye.